Today's episode is proof of what's possible in just 12 weeks. I'm joined by one of our co-clients who's sharing exactly what she's implemented, the wins that she's created, and what's changed in her business in a very short space of time. If you've ever wondered what happens when you actually commit to the work and do the stuff, then this one's for you. Welcome to the Treat Your Business podcast, the show for clinic owners who want real, honest advice and tried and tested ways of doing things. I'm Katie Bell, and this is the new era of bigger insights and bolder conversations to help you grow a clinic and a life you love. Let's dive in. Welcome to the Treat Your Business podcast.
Thank you very much for having me.
I am so excited to have this conversation with you. Vicky, tell our listeners, what was your clinic like? What was your business like? And maybe what was going on for you from a personal point of view, running your business before you joined our revolt?
Sure. So before I joined, I was stabbing in the dark about what to do. I started it up 4 years ago, and I was just in a little room and I was just going at it as I thought it should be. I didn't have any real strategy. I didn't really have a plan. I was just running with it. And then as I got a bit bigger, I grew into a clinic in Central Bath. And then I was thinking about a team, and I took a couple of people on, and then I was thinking, holy smokes, I need help. Because when you graduate, you don't have any business input, you don't have any people management or leadership. So all of these things were coming to a head, and I was making decisions that probably weren't the right ones and made a lot of mistakes along the way. And then thankfully, I came across your podcast, and then I thought this was meant to be like all the kind of universes came together, and everything that you were saying in the podcast, I was like, I need to get involved as soon as I can here.
That just reminded me, Vicky, you reached out to me on LinkedIn, didn't you?
I think it was, quite a few years ago.
Years ago. And we ended up having a bit of a conversation, and I think it was probably 2 or 3 years ago. And then I met you at Therapy Expo with your lovely friend, Natalie. And that's just reminded me. It was LinkedIn that you reached out. What was that you were on your own? You decided that you wanted to grow and you had aspirations to have a team. You wanted to be bigger than just a sole trader, one-man band, for want of a better word. What were the biggest mistakes that you made that you can only now see, having been on the other side of those mistakes and possibly having us supporting you now going, okay, do this, Vicky, let's do this, let's move into this direction quicker. What can you see that you did wrong?
I'm still learning, obviously, now, but number one is hiring too fast.
Yeah.
And I think probably lots of people who are listening here probably will really relate to that, because you think, oh my gosh, I've got all this space, I've got these bills, you've got your kind of goals of wanting a team and growth. But I think I've definitely hired too fast on 4 different occasions, whereby the wrong people in the wrong seats.
Yeah.
And
You're saying all the right words.
So the best word. And I think sometimes, I think what's really important is what I've learned from you guys already is what to have in place for the interviews, or even before you have the interviews, finding out what someone's colour is, their strengths, their weaknesses, and then see what the team are already like, including myself, and see how they can fit into the team before you'd make the plunge of taking them on board.
Yeah. And has those 4 hires that you hired too quickly, on reflection, did that cost you in terms of energy, time, money, stress? Like, we had a conversation, didn't we, Vicky, before Christmas, on voice note with each other, with around a decision that you had to make in your business, and that felt very heavy for you, didn't it? And like a lot of weight on your shoulders, and it felt like you couldn't move beyond it almost.
100%. I think as a yellow myself, if you haven't done a test, it's really important to do it to understand about you and the team. I'm a definite people pleaser. And I really, as it's my clinic, I want to help support people. And I think there's been a few instances where I've pushed too much. I've given more of me. And what happened over Christmas, where I had to let someone go, is unfortunately, I was really burnt out because of that. They were draining me because I was putting so much effort in to try and make it work. And I was losing sleep. I was really stressed. And what a time of year to feel like that. So I've learned so much with that last fire being the biggest learning point for me going forward.
Yeah. And it was like one of those things that I kept saying to you, lean into it, lean into it. You've got to be uncomfortable. This is normal. It shouldn't feel okay because it's never going to. Like firing people is never going to make us feel good. And it shouldn't do actually. Otherwise, there are wrong people running our business. But particularly as a yellow, we find that very difficult. But it was stopping you moving forward. And I guess one of the things that I've reflected on, Vicky, that you quickly seem to have, I guess, shifted since being in the Evolve program is that were you trying to be everything to everybody? And actually, you've made a decision to really go back to your core services and really focus on those, haven't you?
Yeah, 100%. So I think when I first started, when I opened the clinic, but I've got 3 rooms now, I was approached by a massage therapist to join the clinic. And at the time, I was like, that's pretty perfect because I focus on physiotherapy and massage. There's always space for that. And I can always transfer some clients to the massage therapist. And so at the time, I didn't think too much into it. I thought, this is an opportunity. She seems great, lots of experience. But I think, which worked really well for 2 years, I'll just add. But I think what I lost as a business and as my why and my core value is, what am I doing this for? What is my brand? What I wanted? And then after the second massage therapist didn't work when the other one left, I was like, it's not gelling for me. It's not really working. And I think now I've really focused, and what Evolve really taught me is honing in what you want, your services, what am I best at? What is good for me and the business? Where do I see myself? And so now I've just focused on physiotherapy and then really lean into that.
Great, because you've got so much ability in that area and that's your real thing, what you love, what you're known as. And I think for listeners who we have massage therapists within my clinic, is it right? Is it wrong? It's all about what aligns with you and your business. Now, you might, Vicky, in 3, 4, 5 years' time, revisit that because you will have the infrastructure, you will have the systems in place, you'll have the marketing know-how. That means you can then go, okay, now I can expand my services. But one of the biggest mistakes we see so often in young clinics, and yours is a young clinic, Vicky, at 4 years, we dilute too quick. And then we're like, we can't do marketing for this service. So how do I now think I'm going to do it for massage as well as physio and managing those team members? And you also recognize, Vicky, that you weren't as profitable in that service as you were when you were running your physio services. And that's what Evolve also allowed you to see.
Definitely. I think a big part of Evolve and Activate and all these other programs, but I was with Evolve and now I'm with Activate, you really get really stuck into your finances. You'll see the profit, the losses, you'll see where your main services are. And I think that's a big thing I saw in Evolve. I'm like, I'm getting all this growth from physio.
Yeah.
And actually for the effort I'm putting in for massage is like minimal. Right. And I just think, like you said, I was such burnout trying to deliver these two things when actually the physio is really serving me.
Yeah.
And the massage was kind of hindering me. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you joined our Evolve program initially. And one of the things that we do within that in the first few weeks is get clear on your numbers. And we got you, there's some quite specific numbers and metrics that we really wanted you to lean into. So by doing that, Vicky, is that naturally what you would have done without Evolve? Or are you one of the very typical clinic owners out there who likes to bury the head in the sand slightly when it comes to knowing their numbers?
I think so. It was one of my goals last year to really hone in my numbers because I've got an accountant full time now. And so with him and obviously with you guys as well, it's made me really focus on knowing my numbers.
Yeah.
So having systems like Xero and things like that, you can see profit loss, everything that's going on.
And does that help you feel in a different way, Vicky, now? Like sometimes we have to see it's not always a great picture that it paints, but it's a picture that's necessary to be painted. And then it allows us to make better decisions moving forwards.
Exactly. I think sometimes I could be before very spend happy. I need this, I need that.
Yeah, you would know.
I know. And so actually looking at the real data, understanding my numbers, what my average revenue is a month, and where the little boxes I can do for marketing and all that kind of thing is really important to understand that and I feel confident. I think that's the word now. I'm more confident than before in where I'm going with my numbers and what I want to achieve.
Yeah.
So I didn't really know that until Evolve, really, when Jodie was my coach then, like setting up the bar, the boundaries where we're pushing.
Yeah.
And that's helpful.
And I guess when so many clinic owners that we start working with, whether they're like a really small clinic on their own, whether they've got, you know, 2 or 3 Vicky like you, or whether they've got a team of 20, some of them don't know where they're going. So we're like just swimming around in this kind of ocean of stuff going on. But is that actually what you want to happen? Is that actually giving you more money and more freedom in your life? Because ultimately, we're here to make an incredible impact on the health and the lives of our communities. But the business also has to serve us. So
Definitely.
do you feel that was something that was missing, but now feels like you're really leaning into understanding those numbers more?
Definitely. And also talking about the numbers is it's okay to put your prices up.
Yeah.
That's another big thing. Like a lot of people get stuck in the, oh, but I've seen this client for 10 years. I don't want to put it up. But actually, everything's going up. And our business, our bills are going up. So I think that was really a good highlight to me with the numbers thing, is understanding, okay, actually, my profit margins are quite small at the minute. And that's because I need to have that extra jump in increasing the prices, sorting out the block packages.
Yeah. Amazing. So it sounds like you got a lot of clarity quite quickly when you jumped into the Evolve program. What was the moment, Vicky, for you? Because we'd had conversations before that you realize I need to do something now. I can't just do this on my own anymore. I need to jump in with 2 feet and commit.
I think it was when I was on my 4th firing, and with him, I was like, my poor wife was thinking, what have I got myself into? Because I was just a bit of a mess. Because I was like making these really rash decisions sometimes, and I was like, enough is enough. The Thrive program is incredible. And then seeing you at that expo was just like, I need to do this. And then you launched Evolve, and I thought at that time it was perfect for me. And I just needed support and guidance and a community. And I think I was like really alone without it, without the clarity or the plan or I was really stuck. So I was in a situation where I was like, I physically can't continue like this. So I was just like on the edge of, I either go for it or not sure if the business will survive.
Wow. That's massive, isn't it? And so many people, Vicky, listening to this are in that position. They're burnt out, and we're recording this in January, and lots of people will have had some form of rest over the Christmas period. And it almost tricks us into thinking, oh, we can go again. We can keep going for a bit longer because I've had a little bit of rest. But then you just look back and you're still in the same cycle 3, 6, 9, 12 months later with no real tangible changes. So you made a decision to jump into the Evolve program. And then with the Evolve program, you got to come to one of our live days, Vicky. How was that for you?
That was amazing, to be honest. And I think from then, with everything I learned from Evolve in the 12 weeks, I was like, this is my team. This is like my tribe. And I think I felt the overwhelm of support. I was actually quite emotional with Philippa when I met her. I just cried a little bit because I was like, I've never felt this kind of supported before, because your career, like our businesses, it's a huge part of our lives, because it's what makes us live where we want to live, buy what we want to buy. Like it should serve us.
Yes.
And I just thought having that live day was just like, I obviously went to Clinic Growth Live as well, and that was amazing as well. But I think having this strategy day of all these kind of tools that you went through with us, I think just was a huge eye opener. And I was like, gosh, this is going to really accelerate me and my business.
Yeah. It's so powerful, isn't it? And I think I can never describe it well enough on a podcast of being in the room, being supported and surrounded by clinic owners who are we're all trying to do our very best, and we're all trying to impact the lives of our clients and our lives as well. But we can get so lost and it can feel so heavy and so alone. And I think for me, a lot of clinic owners think that's just how it should feel. And I'm like, no, it doesn't have to feel like that. Like, we can have a lot of fun and run your business at the same time.
Definitely. That's what I felt like. And it's just so nice to talk to other people in the same position, because when else can we do that?
Well,
I don't know anyone.
Yeah. And you have a fabulous wife that, is super supportive, even on your fourth firing. And most of us have partners and people we can talk to, but they don't really get it. And sometimes we don't really want to have to share it because I've dealt with it all day and I don't want to have to come home and then keep going on about it. It feels like you do need that space to offload and to go, yeah, I'm hearing you. We've been there. I've done that before. This is what you need to do, Vicky. Like, I was in your ear before Christmas. Tell me when you've done it. Make sure it happens. I need to know. Because without that, we can not hold ourselves accountable and decisions take longer. We just get stuck back in the day-to-day of seeing patients, don't we?
Exactly. And I think with the coaches and like the mindset with Philippa, that is absolutely gold dust. And I can't explain. If you're on the fence, I'd say get off the fence and come on board, because I feel completely different as a person from a mindset. I feel like more confident within myself. So I think it's a personal journey as well as a business journey.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you mentioned that, Vicky, because one of our uniques is that we combine the mindset and the strategy so heavily because it's so intertwined, and you can have the best strategy in the world, but if we're not working on you as a person, you're not gonna launch that strategy. You're not gonna really implement it the very best of your ability. So the mindset is so crucial. And it is a huge personal journey that you go on, and then your business thrives as a result of it. Can we just say that you started in September and it's only 7th of January and you already feel like this? We've got a whole year with you. Can you imagine how great you're going to feel in a year? So apart from, I guess, you feeling more confident, you feeling different, has there been any other kind of big shifts personally and professionally for you in just this short few months that we've been with you so far?
I think also the clarity of where I want the business to be. And obviously focusing on, like we spoke about earlier, the physio side of things and working within the strengths of the business area and where to focus on there. So I think clarity is a big one for the business.
Yeah.
And I think personally, I'm still growing. I'm still learning about leadership and how to manage people. And I think now going on to the Activate, looking at the different things in there's a lot more input and support that I can get from Thrive as well. So I feel like that's going to be a big part. But I already feel like a better leader from the last 12 weeks, which is wild. I can't believe it's only been that long, but yeah.
And I think it's because when you set aside time in your diary to work on your business, you just do admin. You just do stuff, don't you? And you think, I've done a bit of admin. I haven't really moved my business forward. I haven't really moved the needle in my business at all. Whereas the Evolve program was like for you to test the water, and before you threw yourself into the Activate program, which if you've got results from Evolve, you like the results you'll see in Activate are just on a whole nother level. But we basically tell you what you need to do, where you need to spend your time. So you don't have this admin time of just riffing and doing a bit of this and doing a bit of that. It feels very strategic, doesn't it? It feels very like you've got every 30 days, you have a pod where you're going to be speaking to your coach, and we need to know that you've done certain things in that time. So you're not left to your own devices to figure it out for yourself. Does that feel helpful for you?
Hugely, because I think it's very easy to do exactly what you did. I don't have ADHD, but I do 10 different things at the same time sometimes. And I do question myself. But I think like having that plan of, okay, this is your goal. We'll focus on this you have your year goal and then quarterly and then 30 week, and then you go from there. And I think that's another big thing that I didn't have before. And I think that it's really helped me focus and be like, right, this week I'm sorting this. I'm looking at my Google business page, or all those kind of things really make a huge difference.
And I think you said you're still learning, and I want to reassure you, Vicky, that you'll never feel like you're done.
Yeah.
And you'll go on this kind of like absolutely wild journey where the new level, new devil concept that constantly keeps coming back. So you're like, okay, now I've fired and then I've learned from that. And then you get yourself to the next level and you're like, oh, wow, now I've got to learn about this because now I'm managing more people and more personalities and more things. And so it's an ongoing thing. Like, I'm not done in terms of learning how to lead, because every time you step up to that next level, it requires you to be somebody different. It requires you to behave and act in a different way. So it's so important to invest in yourself as a business owner. And I want to congratulate you, Vicky, on making this decision for you, because it's a massive personal investment and your business will only thrive as a result of it, because you've decided that you are worth it.
I think it's health, isn't it? It's wealth. So I think the investment that you put into ourselves is really worth it. If people are on the fence about the investment towards a course like this, I think if you break it down to everything that you'll get out of it, as well as the community side, I think you'll forget, you won't realize the number, because you'll have all that support to drive you in the direction that you need to, instead of going on that hamster wheel that you're constantly on right now. You just need to get off the wheel, get some professional help, and you'll only grow. Like, I've already seen the growth in my business in the 3 months, having that clarity, knowing where to put my money in my marketing and the channels, driving new clients in.
That's amazing. So in terms of the practical changes that have made big differences already, like in 3 months. So you've introduced packages, Vicky. You're moving away from just having a pay-as-you-go model in your clinic.
Yes. So I've put my prices up as well. So pay-as-you-go is elevated. And then we're just really focusing on packages when people come in. And it's, I think, what I really loved about many of the modules that you did, but is the framing within the session. I learned a load about how to frame. And then when you talk about the investment of packages, it's so easy. And I think when I'm confident and delivering the package set up like this one or this one, because I'm sounding confident and I'm knowing what they need, they don't really hesitate. And they're like, oh yeah, that sounds great. I'll do option this one.
Wow.
Whereas before I was a bit like, oh, because it felt awkward with how much the investment was for a package. But it's how you frame it and how you've taught me to frame it. It's just, and because you're serving them, no one can treat anyone in 1 or 2 sessions. It's ridiculous to think that. And I think pay-as-you-go is really, I've really elevated that to kind of have the option of it, if that is the only thing that they can do. But it really showcases how important the package is. So I think that having a lump sum in your business obviously is going to help with the healthy bank as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It improves your cash flow. It gives better results. Your reputation's better. You're not having a sales conversation every single time that you treat them. You can focus on delivering great treatment and exceptional results for them. They get the benefit. You can just be like, this just feels good because I'm doing it from the right place. There's so many wins, isn't there, when it comes to shifting into that model. And it's not easy because we are stuck in our old ways often, and our mindset and our money beliefs get in the way. But we work on all of that stuff, don't we? So that you, as you've said, you feel confident in the way that you approach it from an ethical way as well.
Exactly. And I think it does take time, but I think you help us with a kind of, you talk about how we should try to talk about it, like not a script, but a set pattern of what to say. Yeah, that's it. And then you just have to keep, even if you do it with your partner at home, trying to feel confident in how you deliver it. And then it just gets easier.
And then it just becomes the thing that you've always done. And it's just the new way in your clinic. And so you've raised your prices, you've introduced programs, you've up-leveled your sales technique, you've got rid of a member of staff that wasn't serving you, you've really focused in on your numbers. You have decided to not dilute your services too soon and really focus on your physio side of stuff. You have been very specific about where you spend money in marketing and what you need to be doing and not to need to be doing at this stage of your business. And you've done all of that in 12 weeks.
It's wild, isn't it, when you think about it? But I think, yeah, like you say, what can be done in 12 weeks, 12 months?
Like, it's going to blow your mind, Nicole. It is going to blow your mind. And you are in this kind of like big, massive family. And that sounds a little bit weird, but it is. And when you're in the room with everybody, like nobody's competing, nobody's, everybody wants the best for everybody. And everybody really gets it. They've all been in your position. And I think what's nice about being in the room is sometimes you're a little bit further ahead than some people, and sometimes you're further behind than some of the other people. And it's a mixture of what I'm aspiring to be, who can I help that's over here that I was there at some point. And the reason I wanted Vicky to come on here early on your journey is for you to reflect on what you have just achieved in 12 weeks, which is a lot of it has been uncomfortable for you, but you've done it, you've stepped into it, and you've really shown yourself what you're made of, and that you are resilient, and that you have got those foundations to really up level in the next 12 months. We see so much opportunity for you and so much ability in you. And I think we don't stop enough to reflect on what we have achieved. So this is a moment for you.
Thank you. And I think that's so true, isn't it? Really thinking and reflecting back. I'm trying to do it as a continued thing, as a couple of times a day, to see how grateful I am for, like, gratitude, basically. Like, I try to do three gratitudes a day.
Amazing.
And I think that really helps see how lucky we are to have these businesses. I think that's what you have to think about as well. We're doing this for us and our family.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important. But yeah, I think it's quite overwhelming what I've achieved in the last 12 weeks. And I do feel really proud of it. I'm also very thankful of you and your team to get me to where I am already.
We just provide the structure for your nature. And your nature as a yellow is sexy, all the ideas, not so great at implementation, people pleasing. I am that person as well, Vicky, because I'm a recovering people pleaser, and I'm also a yellow. I get it, but you need structure around you in the same way that blues need it, and greens and red. So that's what we're doing. We're just showing you the way, and ultimately it's up to you to take the action. And you did take a massive action in the last 12 weeks. If Vicky, somebody was listening to this, who's maybe been listening to us for a while, like you did, and is feeling nervous, but knows they need to change something and want to step forward, what would you say to them if you were having a conversation?
I think get support as soon as you can. And I think Thrive is the best mentorship, business coaching that you can ask for. And I think if you've listened to this whole podcast, you can understand why. You'll be signing up straight away. By the way, I'm not commissioned or anything to say what I'm saying.
You're not.
But I just feel grateful. And in hindsight, I wish I did it 2 years ago. That's what I wish. That's my kind of. But I believe there's always a time when you know. But I think if you've been on that journey for already this long, is it Einstein that says, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got?
Yep.
So I think get off that fence and contact the team and just see how they can help you, like they've helped me and like many others.
Yeah.
And the only one thing I would really say when you're on the course is commit to everything in there. So make sure you do all the Q&As, all the live sessions. And the more you put in, the more you get out for sure. Because there were some people that I could see that hadn't fully applied themselves and they haven't got as far as some of the rest of us.
Yeah.
And that's just because they hadn't put it in fully. So make sure that you go for it, put everything in.
That is such good advice, Vicky, because you are so right. Like, we'll put everything in place. We will give you everything, but you need to be there. You need to show up. You need to commit. You need to cancel stuff. You need to put this as a priority, and the results will show. It has shown already for you in just 12 short weeks. Amazing advice. I'm gonna make sure all our members are listening to that as well. So they get on those Q&As and they make sure that all of those live days. Vicky, it has been a real pleasure interviewing you today, also working with you over the last 12 weeks in the Evolve program. I am super excited you've stepped into our Activate program, and we get to work together over the next 12 months and beyond to take your business to where you want it to be. Welcome on board officially, and a huge well done.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to the Treat Your Business podcast. Hit subscribe now and keep joining me for bigger insights, bolder conversation to help you build a clinic and a life you love.